What's up? What's up? I've been listening to this song, and as I celebrate my 28th birthday, although it doesn't feel like it, God has been dealing with me today. I've been reflecting back on the 28 years in which I've been alive, and to see the hands and the works of God has been mind-blowing. And today when I was cutting a client's hair, God brought it to my attention that it's time that as Christians, especially in this season, it is time that we start speaking up. It's vitally important that we open up our mouths. And here God has blessed us and brought us through. Our testimonies could be pages long. But the issue and the reason why people don't believe in Christ today is because they're not seeing a reflection of Christ. And we can't forget about the testimonies in which God has brought us through. If you think back in the Bible days, in the New Testament, when Jesus was working, he always said, it's not the time to announce who I am. It's not the time to make this big deal about me, but I need you to just go tell people what I've done. And I think as Christians, that's something that we are forgetting to do. So I challenge you today, continue to be that example. God has worked great things in your life. God has proven time after time. And in order for people to begin to believe and to have faith in God again, they must be reminded of that which God has done. And if it's you today that you got caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and you forgot to acknowledge, dang, God, you woke me up today. God, I remember the days that you healed my body when bills needed to be paid. I remember that you always was a ram in the bush for me. And so in order for people to be introduced, in order for people to be challenged, in order for people to grow in God, we have got to continue to remember the things of God. I never forget, at 9 years old, I was diagnosed with complex partial seizures, which affected the right hemisphere of my brain. And by that time, I had pretty much made up in my mind I was going to be dumb. I wasn't going to be able to do anything. But to the grace of God, I never forget, I had started flushing my pills, and I had finally became aware that I was lying. Remind you, I was probably like 10, 11 at that time. And I said, I need to tell the truth. And I revealed it to my mother. I revealed it to my doctors. And he said, okay, I support you 100%. He said, you better not ever think about doing drugs. You better not ever think about taking and doing alcohol or anything. And at the age of 13, that was my last documented seizure that I had ever had. So to God be the glory. But I always thought, hey, I don't have that drug use. I don't have that partying and my life being changed, and I devalue my testimony because of what I thought would have been impactful. But God has allowed me to speak to people, hundreds of people with my testimony. And it's been, in fact, reminding people that you have a purpose in life. You have to choose to live. The times that I thought about taking my own life because of being consumed with the side effects of my medication, the fact that I chose to live, and the fact that I share that testimony as I share my story and challenge people to dare to be different in a world full of copycats. People are coming in and being drawn to Christ because of the testimonies, reminding people of the power of God. So whatever testimony that you have to share, don't worry about the platform. If it's a Facebook status, if it's you doing a Periscope, if it's you taking and just reminding yourself, do it daily. Tell people about God daily. People are dying because of their faith in God, because people are not seeing the truth of who God is and what God is doing, because we're replacing testimonies. We're replacing miracles with doctors. We're replacing miracles with money. We're replacing miracles with jobs. But it's time that we realize and be reminded of the true source, that which is Christ, the sacrifice in which he made. So I challenge you to pour into somebody today. Remind somebody you have a testimony. And in order for somebody else to live, your testimony has to be shared. So grace and peace. Be sure to pre-order my book, The Little Book Full of Nothing. The meaning behind that is oftentimes we think that we're going through stuff and it's not a big deal, but it's in fact something that saves somebody else's life. You can get it at turfitistr.com, www.turfitistr.com. Grace and peace, and go bless somebody.